Hey, what's going on? We're back in the building. My name is Jamie Jenkins.
Alicia.
This is Kalisha, and we're back on the last Monday of every month. We do our collab with Old Heads Mindset. Phenomenal opportunity for us to learn as a community, just touching on different topics, things of that nature. So we're glad you're here. If you're in the audience, no matter the platform, make sure you give us a like, subscribe. It's something else.
Tag, share.
Tag, share. It's something else I was gonna say. I messed it up, but they know what I wanted to do. Same thing for Old Heads Mindset. They'll be in the building, so make sure you are like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell so you get the notification when they go live. But without further ado, Old Heads Mindset is in the building. Ricky, what's up?
Hello, everyone.
What's happening?
Yeah. How you guys doing?
All right. What's going on from Australia this morning? What you got in your cup? Where your cup at? You got a
I
Reese's
finished the cup. I had a cup of coffee. Hopefully, it would help me wake up and get my brain ticking over.
I got you. How do you drink your coffee?
Just white, one sugar.
One sugar.
One sugar. I'm trying to reduce that sugar down.
Oh man, as a lady,
it's a battle. It's a battle to go from 2 to 1. Some people have 15. I started with 2, but I'm down to 1 now.
I got you. In my mind, I want to be a coffee drinker, but I never. Why you do your eyes like that? In my mind, I want to be a coffee drinker. I can never really get into it. I had a lady come in the other day. She had a cup of coffee. I was like, "Oh, you got your mocha latte?" She said, "No, it's just coffee." I said, "What's in it?" She's like, 5 cups of sugar, and she's like 5 sugars and 5 creams. I'm like, what? I said, "Listen."
Yeah. So you should drink a bag of sugar.
Right. I said, "Look, I know I don't know how to make it." I said, "That seems awfully sweet." She's just like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." You bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, so you don't start at that level. You work towards that. That's some hard work there to get hard
sugars. Coffee smells good.
It does.
Certain coffees. I don't like the smell of black coffee, but I have found it to be a amazing headache remedy.
Really,
a cup of strong black coffee will knock a headache out just because of the caffeine. Because I think Excedrin is acetaminophen in caffeine. So though that caffeine is really powerful in converting or making things better within the body as it pertains to headaches.
Yeah, it gives you a hit, and for about 15 minutes, you feel like you can conquer the world.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't like it. I'll do a frappe every now and then, but they're so sweet that I'm not a sweet fan. So.
No, you're not a sweet fan. My I don't know if my dad drinks coffee. My mom does. She's a big Folgers. Old school Folgers.
Pretend the coffee.
She
pretending.
She does make it though. Okay.
Anyway, that's not what we're here for.
Okay.
Today. We're not talking about coffee.
So, if you would, just introduce yourselves to the audience, who you are, and a little bit about your podcast.
Okay, so I'm Ricky Tillman from Old Head Mindset Podcast. I normally have my son with me. Today he's not here. He's got some business to attend, but we are a father and son team that just basically have a conversation with each other and also with our audience about how to improve your life and how do you tackle life. And there's a lot of life struggles. So that's what Old Head Mindset is about. It's about communicating, bringing information to people so they can improve their lives.
Awesome.
That's Old Head Mindset.
A couple of conversations we've had in the past. We've talked about coping. We've talked about depression. We've talked quite a bit about just teenagers or young adults and the things that they are diving into, or the things that from a teaching standpoint that we should be helping out with or allowing them to grow. So our conversations have really touched on a lot of bases. What tonight we'll be talking about is trying to get these mortgages under wraps, being able to pay off what it takes from a dedication standpoint and a planning standpoint, right? This is the plan here, and I'm more of a
Teamwork.
yeah, I'm more of a throw it against the wall. I hope it works. She's
Right.
why are you throwing it? Why is it against the wall? How much are you throwing? Why are you using your left hand? Like she makes sure that the planning is some planning in there. And so like with your expertise, the things you've kind of touched on and we've talked about in the past. So tonight we'll be diving into mortgage mitigation, like how to reduce your mortgage from a 30-year plan down to a certain amount based on what we can do. So we'll let you, kick us off. Talk to us.
Well, I guess I better start with a little bit of my story, where
Mm-hmm.
to get a bit of validity here. I was I was in the same, I'll say, rat race of trying to pay my mortgage off over a 30-year period, but I decided I didn't want to do that. So I came up with an idea on how I could reduce my mortgage from 30 years to 30 months. And what I ended up doing was going on a journey, discovering the things that I need, studying and learning the things you need so you can get the skills and the ability to pay off your mortgage. And it's just an educational thing where you got to know that it's a game of life. We're all in a game of life. So when you get into mortgage, having your own mortgage, you got to understand that game. Start to study, start to learn more about that game. Everything is about knowledge. And it's amazing how so many people will get a mortgage, and it might be 200, 300, 400, 500, whatever, $1,000, but you don't want to put any effort in learning the game. And
Mm-hmm.
so what they get you at, the banks, is when you borrow 30, 300, $400,000 mortgages, they get you on the interest, the back end. The interest rate is what really gets you. So that's what we can talk a little bit about today. The interest.
Okay.
How do you learn how to save money, grow money, keep money? That's
Got
the
it.
ticket. So if you want me to continue with that, again, so if I'm speaking to the youth, if you're just getting into a mortgage today, I would say to you is to learn how to grow, how to save money, learn how to put money aside so you can, if you have emergency, you can take care of emergency. But
Mm-hmm.
with regards to your mortgage, you need to learn to save the money, grow your wealth. And so what I learned through reading a book, it's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And that book taught me how to save money, keep money, then start to grow your money using multiple streams of income uh, to grow my wealth, and then put the extra money that I earned into the mortgage.
Okay, so let's talk about your mortgage payment. So, like, I want to give a number to our audience so they can just kind of play around with it. So, let's say we're dealing with $150,000 mortgage with $1,000 payment. Um, Basically, if I got a 4% interest rate, that's a 350,000, almost $385,000 that I'll be paying back on $150,000 loan.
That's
So a
right.
lot of people, they don't, I guess I'm not sure if they understand that, but when you pay everything back on that 30-year mortgage, it's going to be well over what the price of the house is.
Yeah. What we tend to do when we become homeowners, we get excited and we say, okay, yeah, I'm a homeowner and I'm going to pay my house off. And it's already been programmed into us that we do it over a period of time of 30 years. So we don't even look at it any further. We just look at, okay, well, I got a house now. I'm going to, and I'm happy. I'm great. I'm doing great things. And that's it. But there's as I said, there's levels to it.
Right.
So you don't want to just get a $150,000 house and then don't learn how the banks is taking advantage of you, or you don't know anything about interest rates. You want to figure that out, like what you just demonstrated. You know that if you get $150,000 mortgage, you're gonna be paying back double that. And so where does that come from? That comes from the interest rate that you're going to be piling up. So for example, if you say you're paying $1,000 a month on your house, your mortgage, you're not really paying $1,000 a month. You're giving
not.
the bank
Right.
$1,000.
You're paying like $200 a month, maybe less than that against your principal.
That's right. So if you're only putting $200 a month, this is why it takes 30 years to pay back the $150,000. It shouldn't take 30 years to pay back someone $150,000 if you put in $1,000 a month. So the key is say, well, how do I reduce that amount of time so I can keep that interest rate payment? So what I was able to do is I reduced it from 30 years to 30 months. So I saved $200,000 or $300,000 in interest rate payment that now I can put in my pocket, reinvest to build wealth. So the key to playing this game of life is learning how to get into paying that mortgage off as quick as early as possible. And you do that by using your gifts that you already have to, in my case, I had a gift where I was a tradesman. I could do my tiling on the side. And so I had multiple businesses. I had a high pressure cleaning business. I had a board stain removal business. And I also was a tiler. But I found out that the best way, so I refined my plan. The best way to do that is I discovered the best way for me to do it. It ain't for everyone. Was to go back and work for the man. Get me a steady job. This is why I say to any young person, get you a good job, steady job. That would pay for your lifestyle. That would pay for your bills. Then use your skill set. If you're someone that's handy or someone who's sharpened, you can have your own, you get a product or service that you provide to the people. And that's where you get your extra income from.
Yeah.
Well, I had the multiple income. So my day job was paying for the life and the bills, and my extra income was going directly into the mortgage. So that just kept compounding. So it allowed me to reduce my mortgage down from 30 years to 30 months.
So listen, so what we do, I'm included in this, right? What I do is when I have extra money, my lifestyle changes. When I get the raise or the extra job or sell merch here or there, my lifestyle tends to expand as my finances expand. And that's just the opposite of what you're telling me right now.
Yes. So this is the trick. Another trick. Everything is a learning curve. I made these mistakes like anyone else would. The more you earn, the more you spend until you learn how to not do that. So the key to it is earn more and spend less. So you have to be disciplined. You have to control your urges to, okay, I got it, so why not spend it? Because that's not the growth mindset. That's the mindset that we've always been taught. They teach us in school to earn money and spend it. And so we are great at spending, but we're not very good at saving. And so the key to a young person starting out is discover that the more you earn, like if you get a good paying job and they give you a raise, as soon as you walk out of that office, you already done thought of a way of spending. Oh, I'm gonna get them new rims. I'm gonna get the handbag. So you have to understand how you think. So don't spend the extra money. You have to use the extra money to get yourself ahead by putting it into the mortgage. Because the more you put into your mortgage, it's just like the more you put into your mortgage, the more your wealth is going up. Because your house is going up at the same time, and you're putting more money into your mortgage. So you're building wealth. So that's how that works. So the trick is be aware, be self-aware at all times. The more you earn, the more you will spend.
Okay, I'm looking now. Just based on what you said, I'm just putting some numbers in here. So I'm gonna use 150K as our mortgage that we're dealing with, and 3.7% interest rate, really good interest rate, I would say, over 30 years. Basically, what you'll be paying back is $248,000, $479,000.20. That's how much you'll be paying back. basically another $100,000 based on a $150,000 loan, and that's absolutely crazy.
So what you have to put in your head right now is that is your money that you're giving to the bank freely, because you now the proud homeowner. So you've been trapped. Once you get the home, oh yeah, fantastic, which is great. You got a house, you own a home, you're paying it off. It's what we've been taught to do, but you're not playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. So any game you start in, you just don't, like in a basketball, you don't just run up and down the court. You got to figure out what's going on, how it works, and how to score. So the banks are scoring off your hard-earned money that you work daily for. They're scoring off you because they know that you believe that you don't struck gold. You got a house, but you are giving the bank back hundreds of thousands of dollars because they loan you $150,000. So the ticket is, how do I stop that? How do I enrich myself? How do I pay myself first? So you come up with a strategy. Of what we're talking about is get multiple streams of income. Use your gifts to provide a service or a product so you can grow your wealth and pay and put that towards your mortgage. But the next step in that, learn how to keep your money. So that's when you earn more. We just talked about it. What's going to happen? Your instinct to say, well, we're going to splurge in today. Let's go.
Yeah. Give me something extra. Give me something plus. Let me get something on the side. That's normally what we do.
But another trap is you will start to look for other opportunities, or people might bring opportunities to you. Say, hey, Jamie, let's invest in some jewelry and stuff. I know a person over in Texas who got some good jewelry. Oh, okay. What do you need? I need some capital. So you invest your money. I go and the guy provide us with some fake jewelry, and I don't know any different because I don't know anything about jewelry. So the key here is the next step to that is don't spend your money on things you don't know nothing about.
Right.
So that's another trap, because when you got a little spare change, you start thinking, well, how can I fast track this? If I invest in this, invest in that, but I don't know anything about it, more than likely you're gonna lose your money.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be back to square one.
The mortgage lender I spoke to today, because what we're trying to do is take your approach and add this segment every month. You know what I'm saying? Try to have a mortgage segment and see, kind of where we stand with the plan and what we're able to do. But the mortgage guy told me today, if you take the mortgage payment and split it in half and add the extra payment for the year on it, that basically you would save 7 years. You would save 7 years just by doing a bi-monthly payment versus paying everything at the end of the month.
Yes, I was going to cover that. Glad you brought that up. A lot of people don't understand, or the bank is not going to tell you. They're going to put you on a monthly payment. And because everyone's on a monthly payment, that's the way it goes. But what you don't realize is you can save up to 7 years off your mortgage, which equate to hundreds of thousands of dollars, by doing one simple thing different. Pay the same amount, but instead of paying it monthly, you pay it bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, yeah.
In Australia, we call it fortnightly. So every 2 weeks, I'm paying the same amount into my mortgage. So because it's more than, the reason why that works is more than 12 months in a year. But people don't realize it's actually 13 months. So every year it's equated to you putting 1 full month of payment into your mortgage. So what that does to your mortgage, it brings it down, and you reduce that mortgage by nearly 7 years just by changing the frequency of you paying your mortgage. Easiest thing in the world to do, but the banks don't want you to do that. So that's for any young people or anybody who's got a mortgage and you paying it monthly. Start tomorrow paying it fortnightly. Every 2 weeks, you put it in every 2 weeks. You just split the difference and put it in every 2 weeks, and you reduce your mortgage by 7 years.
Listen,
that's hundreds of thousands of dollars back in your pocket.
Listen, the guy eyes lit up when I said it. Oh yeah, that's what I do. He said, yeah, that's real smart. He says, what you're able to do, he's like, give me some numbers and I'll show you how much you're gonna save. he was just, so excited. He said he had been in the mortgage business about 29 years. And and he was like, yeah, that's one of the easiest ways to save a lot on the back end is by splitting that payment up, getting with your lender, saying, hey, this is what I want to do. And then at that point, once you start splitting it up, every 2 weeks, he says, then you can go in and make adjustments based on if you have extra income, things of that nature, and say, okay, I want to go from, if the payment's $1,000, I'm gonna go 500. Oh, I see that's working well. I can go 520, 530, and continue to build and grow and take that number down.
Yeah. I got another tip for you. If you, for the people who want to have a bit of fun with their mortgage and pay close attention, this one for you, Kalisha. You like to play with numbers and stuff. It's a website you can go on called I think it's, let me get this right, www.mortgagecalculator.com. I think that's it. Or .org, sorry. And what that is you can open up an Excel spreadsheet. It's called amortization calculator. And what that does, you put your mortgage in there, you put your interest rate in there, and you can put extra payment, and it'll show you in real time, break down in real time when you're going to have your mortgage paid off. So if you want to change those numbers, say if you want to put $100 in, and then you change it to $200, immediately it'll change the date, the time when your mortgage is paid off, and it also will show you how much interest rate you save, which is a motivator, right? That motivates me to say, wow, if I pay this off in 7 years as opposed to 30, I don't save $150,000 on this $300,000 or $400,000 mortgage. So that would prompt. There you go. So now you can, on that page there, you should be able to find the Excel spreadsheet and go from there. And if anyone who wants to have fun and change their life, you start playing with that, you're going to see, wow, this is how this stuff works. You can see in real time that I'm going to break that down and pay $50 a week more into my mortgage. It's going to knock 1.2 point something years off my mortgage. So you just change the numbers. What can you afford? So then that motivates you to say, what sort of extra income can I go out and do? And that motivated me to the point that it ran me nuts. And I came to the conclusion that I'm going to work 36 months straight, 7 days a week to pay my mortgage off in 36 months. So I said that to my friend. He's like, man, you can't do that. You're gonna kill yourself. But that motivated me to say, I'd rather do that than have a 30-year mortgage over my head. And so I went on that journey of trying to pay it off in 36 months, and I ended up doing it in 30 months. So that's what knowledge and information can do for you.
Interesting.
And that's a great tip.
Yeah, that's dope information. How long? So what, like, in your mind, and if you could go back, like, what would you do differently from the beginning of your just inception into making money? Like, how would you do things differently to ensure that you met your goals early on rather than finding out the things that you found out later on in life?
I think the biggest difference for me is coming to, for anyone starting out, is to hurry up and get there, figuring out that this is a game of it's like a game, but it isn't a game. Life is not a game, but you have to figure out how things work. Then you have to really study. You don't rely on someone else to give you the information or someone else to tell you how to do stuff. Because learning is not learning about things you know, it's learning about things you don't know. So if you get good at learning about things you don't know, then you can start fast tracking your journey. So if I were to start, like when I first started out, I did not want a mortgage. I thought it was a bad debt, terrible debt. I don't want $200,000 over my head. But what I know now is these 200,000, these 300,000 is the wealth building engine for my family, for our community, for our people. So this is very close to me, where especially in Mississippi, where they don't want to do what they want to do for us. So we have to do it ourselves. So it's about getting that knowledge, getting that information, and studying it, and then you become that person. You become a real estate guru. You can only do that by putting the effort in. So anyone who's got a mortgage and you spending hundreds of $1,000s, you deserve to put a lot of energy in understanding how this stuff works. The banks are going to get you. I've been involved in Mississippi where the banks was charging me higher interest rate because of the color of my skin. So part of a class action lawsuit on that. That was years ago. So there's things that are working against us all the time. So we have to figure out, am I being messed over? So anyone who's got a mortgage, go have a look at your interest rate and make sure that you're being fairly treated, not by the color of your skin, that you're actually being fairly treated, because it's happening. It happened to me, and it can happen to anyone. So, but yeah, to answer that, I would get busy learning how things work.
Do you believe in good debt, bad debt, or are you a zero debt type person?
There's a such thing as good debt and bad debt. Having a mortgage is a good debt. Having a car payment is a bad debt. Anything that's going to grow you wealth is a good debt. Anything that's going to cost you money is a bad debt. So you can't have both and then think you're going to fly up the ladder. First thing I did, I had a lot of bad debt when I went on my journey. I mean, a lot. So first thing I had to do was repay the bad debt. So anyone who's starting out, who's got a mortgage, and you got on the side, you got credit card debt and all sorts of bad debt. First thing you want to do is clear all your bad debt. And you can do that real simple. Refinance. You have to refinance your mortgage. Refinance your mortgage, clear all the bad debt, but don't go back and reinvent it. Get rid of it and stay away from it. I've learned over time to use my credit card to my advantage, but that's years of experience where I used to use it. A lot of people think their credit card is their money. It's not your money, it's the bank's money. So when I would use it and don't pay the repayments back, the interest is getting me. So I'm paying back triple times the amount of money over time. So I say pay all your bad debt and then move on. I was paying my bad debt on my credit card, then run it back up and then not paying it. And then several months later, I catch up. So that's what I do now is that I use my credit card for everything, but I pay it off within that 30-day period. So what I'm doing, I'm building points on my credit cards, which allows me to travel on the points. And that's an advantage that I'm using the system for me, not the system using me. But that took a lot of years of, getting messed over because I wasn't playing the game right. So keep learning how this stuff works, and you can take advantage of it.
I agree, 100%.
Kanoa says, how to determine if a bank is charging you a different interest rate than others? Like, how do we go about checking that interest rate?
Go to your counterpart and ask them what sort of interest rate, if you can do that. Or you should be able to go online and check to see what they charge for a typical loan. I'm not 100% sure how America works because I've been over here for 30 years. So it's not that easy for me to answer that. But I would say they should be able to provide you with the information. If you go to the teller and ask the teller what is the interest rate for this mortgage or any mortgage, they should be able to tell you. And if it's different to yours, then it's different. How I found out is I didn't know. I was paying my mortgage for 7 years and I didn't know anything about the game, and looked at my mortgage and said, why is my mortgage still almost the same as when I started? And I've had these mortgages for 7 years. So that was the first red flag, but still I didn't click then. I didn't think it took a letter in the mail that said it was a class action and this is what's happening. So it's like I didn't have a clue, and that's on me. If I got a mortgage, I need to know. If you got a mortgage, you need to know what your interest rate is. You need to know what the interest rate is doing to your hip pocket. So that's your job. You have to get out and do the research because it's your money. You're working to pay this off. And Jamie, as we said, you might put 1,000 into the mortgage. You're not paying off 1,000.
No,
you're putting 200. So
maybe 250.
Yeah. And so if you can reduce your, and again, other things you can do, you can go to your bank and ask for a lower interest rate. Just because everyone else has got an interest rate, that doesn't mean that you have to have that. It's the old saying is that you don't get what you don't ask for. Because you better believe there's people that has a lower interest rate than what you have, and they got it because they asked for it. So again, a lot of people won't do that because they don't think it could happen to them. They don't think that they can receive that bonus. But you don't get what you don't ask for. So that would be one thing that you need to sort of do is be more involved. Be more involved. Being more involved with the game. Pay attention. Learn.
Gotcha. One of the things I saw was determining when to refinance, right? It says deciding whether to refinance your mortgage depends on various factors, including how much the mortgage rate changes. A rule of thumb is that is to consider refinancing if you can lower your interest rate by at least 1%. Like some people are looking for a huge jump to go from 3 to 1 or from 5 to 0.05, but it says if you can lower your interest rate by at least 1% or more. However, the decision also depends on factors such as closing costs associated with the refinances, your future plans, and how long you plan to stay in the home. It's a good idea to consult with a financial advisor or mortgage specialist to determine if refinances make sense for your specific situations. But 1% is the rule of thumb. If you can improve your interest rate by 1%, then it should work out in your favor, especially if you plan on staying there.
Yeah, I agree with that. The key thing you said there is seek your financial advisor or a financial advisor. And that's another problem we have as a group is we like to do things on our own. We're very independent. We stand on our own back. We don't reach out for help unless we really, really need it. But when it comes to this game of being in a mortgage, you need to seek professional advice. Talk to people who are actually doing it, not someone who hasn't done it. So that's a key. I personally think that you would only refinance it if you can reduce the two things. If you can reduce your interest rate and if you want to clear bad debt, because you have to be careful, because be aware that when you refinance your mortgage, you actually kind of taking a step back, because all the interest you started with, say if you've been paying on a mortgage for 7 years and then you refinance, you basically starting over, because they're going to refinance you on that, and then you're just going to be restarting over. So, but at the end of the day, you starting over with a clean slate. So that's where I look at it. I was willing to start over with a clean slate, no bad debt. Only thing I got is a mortgage or a car payment, and start fresh and not make the same mistakes. So that's key. Don't make the same mistakes as you did to get yourself in bad debt, because then you're just wasting your time if you're going to do the same things you did that got you in bad debt by refinancing mortgage. Don't do that.
Well, I'm looking today at just best mortgage rates in 2024. These rates, I guess they seem pretty high. I see today's 30-year fixed mortgage purchase rate is 7.43. You got a 15% mortgage purchase rate of 6.85. So mortgage rates are, I guess, around the high 6, low 7s right now. And like I said, basically depends on, it says conventional loan 7.8, 3.85 for some 15-year fixed. So it's so many different variances there based on your credit score. Like I said, this is where credit score comes into play, right? What is your payment going to be? If you have a better credit score, people don't understand that that's going to save you thousands, tens of thousands of dollars easy based on small points, based on how many points you're going in higher or lower than than your counterpart or your neighbor that you're trying to get those loans with.
Yeah, I would say anyone who has a poor credit score that's looking to purchase a home, I would say slow your roll, be patient. First thing to do is work on your credit score. It's things you can do, research you can do to try to improve your credit score. Because if you put the effort, I don't care how much time you put into it, it's worth the time that you're going to put into it to save you money over 30 years. You don't want to enter a 30-year mortgage with a poor credit score and they boost it up when you can take the time out to boost your credit score and reduce your payments. So your first step is to raise your credit score. Learn how to do that because there's things you can do to raise your credit score. And then once you got a higher credit score, then go to the bank to borrow money for your mortgage.
Yeah, there's all types of programs out there as well to help you with your credit. There are some credit specialists out there. Like I said, I know some myself, but there's a lot of programs out there for people specifically trying to buy homes and say, hey, here is your list of things to do. You want to buy a house, you got debt, you've been foreclosed, you've had repossession and things of that nature. They will give you a list of things to do to try to mitigate all that, to try to get you in the best position possible to get to acquire those loans, to be able to buy a house.
Yeah. What I want is people to be patient. Just because the expert is giving you advice, take it home, sleep on it. Be patient. Play this game of life very smart, because if you put your hands in someone else, you put your life in someone else's hand, they're gonna take it and run with it. And so slow down, take your time, be patient, and come out with a strategy on how you can do this thing the smart way to save you. And the reason why you're doing it is you're trying to save yourself money and time. So don't race off because someone will say, yeah, we can get you here. But you need to do this, this, and this. And you're like, I can't wait. I want to do it now. I got to do it now. No, take your time. Be patient, because you're going to save yourself so much money down the track. So patience is the key.
What do you have any advice for people who may have purchased homes, have been foreclosed on, or have any type of liens or anything on their credit? Is there anything you could tell them to help them be more savvy as far as it pertains to moving forth in purchasing homes and paying them off?
Well, it's kind of tough. I've never been in that situation, and I don't live in America, so I don't know how tough that is. But I would say if I was in that predicament, I would go back to the drawing board and look at what I done wrong, learn from that, then hit the books, figure out what are the people that are doing it right, what have they done, and what I didn't do, and then just start fresh, because you got your life to start over, start again, and keep moving. So you just get smart. You learn from your mistakes. And that's why I always tell my son is that don't be afraid to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You just learn from them and then pick yourself up and grow and move in and continue to move into the direction you want to go. So you've done it, learn from it, and keep moving. Learn and keep moving. That's it.
Kanoa he's asked, if your house is paid off, would you recommend doing an HLOC and investing in other properties?
Yes. So my strategy for me, I paid off my house in the 30 months and immediately went and got another one. And now I'm in the process of paying that off and try to do that again in 30 months, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do because I'm getting a bit old. I can't work like I used to. But the strategy is to pay the houses off, then use the houses as my form of retirement. So I'm hoping to get up to 3 houses that's going to fund my retirement and lifestyle going forward. At one stage, my dream was to come to Jackson. I wanted to have houses in both countries, America and Australia. So I wanted to buy 10 houses in Jackson because they're a little bit more cheaper and you get a bigger return. And that was going to fund my retirement. So anyone who's into buying, if you've paid off your house early, yes, straight away, in my opinion, go out, use the equity, or if you have the means to buy another house and keep rolling over those houses because they will fund your retirement. And and they will grow your wealth. And not only that, this is what we have to understand. Every house that you own, if you have family, you can pass that down to your family. And so what you've done, you've created a benchmark and a way for your family to continue to take it and go to the next level. So now you're talking about that generational wealth. It all comes from the house and the land that we buy. So what else have we got? We get those properties, and then we can continue to grow those and pass it down. I gave my brother and sister-in-law some advice the other month it was. They own a property in Oxford. They decided they were going to move to Alabama to get a better paying job. I said, whatever you do not sell that house in Oxford. And thank God they didn't. So they have the house in Oxford. We put a big strain on them because they moved to another state. But that house in Oxford is going to keep growing and growing. But what they have children. They're going to hand those houses down to their kids, and the kids are going to take it to the next level. Mm-hmm. So that property is going to keep growing and growing. So 10, 15, 20 years from now, a property that's worth, say, we sticking on 150,000, it could be worth $400,000 or $500,000. That's one property. So if you got multiple properties, you can soon see you're going to be building yourself to be in the millionaire category. And if things go bad, you can sell one of them and live off that income. And so if things go bad with my plan, I can sell one of my property and live off that to my remaining days. Because all my properties at the moment, it's 1.2, 1.3 million. So it allows me to say, well, I got a little bit of buffer there.
Got a nice net worth that you can play with.
Yeah. So definitely, I'm excited to hear that. That's what we want. All the young and anyone who has a property wants to start thinking like that. This house is your family's future. It's not just a home which is what we love. We love our home that we live in, have memories in, but it's a wealth building engine because and as you know, the properties are going up around the world. So it's just going to keep growing up, and more money you put into the wealthy. So I like it. That's why I say it's a good debt. And you make your payment, you're getting the money back. You're going to get that money back because it's paying off your house. So you're going to one day own it. And then once you own it, it's going to be so much more than when you started out with. You started out at 150. If you take you 30 years, it ain't going to be 150. It's going to be up in 200 or 300, 400, whatever the market dictates. So that's what we have to remember. That house is amazing generator for your wealth.
Did you do this on your own, or did you have a support system, a spouse, a partner?
Great question. I did have a great support system. My partner, Mario, she helped. When I was working 7 days, she would come out and work with me because it was our time to catch up. And she's been with me every step of the way. She does her part. She has her job, so she contributes to our life, and she contributes to the health building of our wealth. And she could have been someone that didn't like that. You work too much, or discouraged that, or why are you doing it? Didn't understand it, but it was all support and love, and that's important. If you have a partner who's sort of dogged on getting out there and trying to build a future, it's important to have a good support person or someone who's willing to sit back or say, hey, I support you. Even if you don't want to do the work, I support you. You go ahead and knock yourself out. I'm going to relax and you go do the work or whatever. But you need to support that person so they can help build the wealth.
Great. Well, we are on the 45-minute block. This has been a very intriguing conversation. I hope that the audience...
I've been getting excited.
I hope that the audience has gained what they came here to gain. But as a precursor or as a run back, I want you to, again, tell the people who you are, how you have accomplished your goals, and what they can do to do the same.
Okay. So I'm old Ricky Tillman. I'm collaborating with Hello Black Man. We are doing great work.
Mindset.
Yeah, Ricky Tillman from Old Head Mindset. And what I do is I have a podcast with my son, and we sit and talk about things how we can improve our life, how we can improve situation in life that challenges us through using our wisdom, newfound wisdom, to give us something to work with in life. And what I'm doing right now is we talking about how you can pay your mortgage off early, because I know that's a very important thing for the people to understand about growing wealth.
Yes.
And it's a great tool to have for any young person, any group that has a mortgage. You're on a winner. So, and how I did it is I discovered how things work by studying it and learning. So you pick up a book, start reading things, and you go from there. That book will encourage you to take action. And when you take action, you start to see results. We give you confidence to keep moving in the way you want to go. But yeah, so learn where your skills are, where your talents are, what your gifts are, and run with it. Everyone's got their own gifts and talents and situation. My situation may not suit your situation, but everyone has things that they can work with.
Yeah.
And just take baby steps. Don't. It's not a race. It's a journey. So that's the key.
That my biggest takeaway today is the bi-weekly payment, right?
Yes.
Like that's something everyone can do. It just takes a little on the front end. May take you 30 minutes, an hour to get it done with the bank.
Yep.
It won't cost you anything. You don't have to work anything extra from that standpoint, and that's going to save you 7 years right there.
Mm-hmm. If I got a minute, yes, that's a simple action. Everything in life is easy, but it's also easy not to do. This is the problem. That's what makes it hard. So that is the easiest thing to do. Go tomorrow to your bank and say, hey, I don't want to pay it monthly. Change it to fortnightly or every 2 weeks. And thank you. See you later. You do that, your life, you will knock off 7 years off your mortgage.
That's
just like that. So that's what I want people to understand. It's very easy to change your life. It's very easy stuff. That's what I learned as well. So another thing is the 10%. We didn't really go over that. Start paying yourself. It's a philosophy. So I say, learn to pay yourself first. So people will say, I pay myself. I get paid all the time. But no, you pay everyone else. When you get paid, everyone else is sucking your money. So learn to pay 10% to yourself and keep it. And that's when you starting to save 10%. And once you save the 10%, you start to see a different path, because you've proven to yourself that you can. But you also say, if I can do 10, why not 20? If I can do, and then you go from there. And then other ideas will come into your life on what you can do with your money and how you can grow your money. This is how it starts. You have to start with the basic. If you can't do 10, try 5%. 5% of what you earn. Start with anything, but it's the starting part. Taking action is going to make the big result. And that's what I did. I had to learn this over probably 30 years, 35 years, 40 years of my life. But I want young people to get this right now. I'm talking to my son and my nieces and my nephews and everyone. I want young people, you can do this right now. And when you get to my age, it'll be a totally different story. So don't wait. Do it now.
All right.
That part, start early. Like I said, my daughter, we just set her up. Well, both my daughter and my son, we just set them up bank accounts. My daughter is working. I have set her up to push money to another account that she doesn't see, that she doesn't look at. At 17, if she could develop these habits, then I can only imagine where she would be when she gets to our age in life. So again, amazing conversation. Some things that I want to touch on. I wish Ricky didn't stay in a time zone that was 100 hours different from ours, so we could do this more often. But wills, trust, power of attorneys, those are all things that I think that we need to be discussing as a community, because a lot of times we try to avoid those conversations. So those are things that we're going to get into as we further this conversation, as we move forward with this collaboration. I'm excited because I know that this is going to be phenomenal for people and they're going to gravitate toward this. So thank you, Ricky. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Tell Malik we missed him. But
we missed him, Malik, today.
We're looking forward to his input on the next episode if he's available. And any more parting shout outs?
Well, I have to give a shout out to Hello Black Man, because I keep saying that you guys are doing great work for the community, for America, really, because anybody that follows you is getting great information, great things to work with. and that's why we're working together, because I dig it and I love it. So let's keep doing this. As you said, I'm still learning. We all learning, and we're
That's
gonna
right.
share
We all
everything.
learning. Say that part.
I'm excited. I was excited about this day because I wanted to be able to give something back to my community, and this talking with you guys is getting me on that journey. So thank you for that opportunity. I appreciate
Awesome.
Most welcome. And this collab is not just between us. Like, if there are people out there who have podcasts or who are just individuals who have advice and y'all want to jump on and y'all want to be like, hey, I got something to add to this conversation, you guys are always welcome. And you can do a call in if you don't want to be on the facial, or we can add you and you don't have to bring your picture on. So please feel free to come on and add to the conversation.
Let me say one more thing. I second that. And we need the people. We think the ones who put the comment today, please give us more questions. We can't make this magical without you. So
That's right.
The more participate, the better.
That's right.
All right. Well, all right, guys. You guys have a great rest of y'all's night, and we will see y'all soon.
Right now. Thank you much.